Today we took a look at the 2017 Nissan Armada Platinum. Now in this video we're not going to be covering all of the features offered in the Nissan Armada. We're only going to be covering what features become standard when upgrading from the SL model. Now before we get into the differences between the SL model and the Platinum trim that we're taking a look at right now, we're going to briefly just go over the model, seeing as how it's a complete body style change for 2017. So what that means, we have a whole new engine, a whole new body, everything is the same, different from the 2015 model year. So it's not even the same type of vehicle at all. You have a more, even though the 5.6 liter stays the same, you actually have more power in this vehicle, more torque, and of course you can tow more weight. Now, taking a look at the front, some things that we can observe, it still retained that V-motion grille that was in the 2015 Nissan Pathfinder that debuted many years ago. On this Platinum trim, we have nice 20-inch alloy wheels. You have a lot of infinity-like in this Nissan Armada. It definitely, I mean, from the 8-pillar back, it's really reminiscent of a Infinity. And that's a compliment for the Nissan Armada. So you have a lot of Infinity features at a lower Nissan cost. So it's definitely a really attractive vehicle. As you can see, compared to the previous body style that was a little bit more outdated, now the 2017 model year is a lot fresher, with including a lot of technology that we'll get into in just a second. But one of the nice touches that we see here is, of course, these nice LED daytime running lights in the shape of a boomerang. Okay. So like I said earlier, in this video we're only going to be covering what features are standard when upgrading from the SL model to the Platinum trim. Now we're not going to be covering all of the features in the Nissan Armada. If you want more info as far as what features are standard as you go up by trim, make sure to check out the channel where we're going to dissect the Nissan Armada and take it piece by piece and observe all of the changes. So we're going to start from the outside and move on to the inside. Now one of the biggest changes from the Pathfinder, from the Platinum to from the SL to the Platinum model is, of course, these nice 20-inch alloy wheels. Now you might be asking yourself, the SL also has 20-inch alloy wheels. Now the difference here is not the design, but rather the finish to it. See, these are a little bit more dark, and they look a lot more premium than the SL model would, and more resistant to scratching, as you can see here. So definitely a plus to have in a Platinum model. Now we're going to walk around real quickly again. Now, being as how the SL model is very loaded, pretty much fully loaded, there's not a lot of differences you can see from the outside, aside from the fact that you know how, of course, the Platinum trim versus just the SL trim on of course, the SL model. Now, some of the bigger changes we are going to see on the inside, and with of course, the addition of a lot of safety features. To give you an idea, upgrading to the Platinum will give you such features as intelligent cruise control, forward emergency braking, blind spot intervention and blind spot warning, backup collision intervention. So it's a lot of stuff that I'll get into in just a little bit. But if you're curious to see how some of these systems work, there is kind of some sensors and a little camera up top on the where the rear view mirror is. Now, one of the things that is specific to the Platinum trim level is something that a lot of people overlook, but something that you'll see here. So it is a windshield wiper de-icer. So what that means is that even if you live in a cold climate area that is prone to obviously icing, on the Nissan Armada it features the windshield de-icer, which is pretty much a warmer that stays on all the time to make sure that the windshield wipers don't frost up and make it difficult to obviously wipe the windshield. So the last thing that you can see from the outside, well, we can't really see from too much of this angle, but is the addition of a moonroof. So that is standard on the Platinum trim level. No need to have any options for. On the SL, it is optional to have the nice moonroof. But keep in mind here on the Platinum trim, it is now standard. Of course, the V8 engine is standard, but that is also standard on lower trim levels. So we're gonna move on to the inside and observe some of the more bigger changes. Now, as soon as we open up the door to the 2017 Nissan Armada Platinum, it's easy to see how much luxury there is in here. It definitely has a lot of Infiniti DNA in this car, and that's really a good thing in this segment. So as you can see, a lot of nice soft touch materials, a really nice design to the leather on the door panels. Moving on to the interior seats, you have a power seat for both the passenger and the driver, a power tilting in and out steering wheel. Of course, you do have these nice step rails that make it easier to get inside of the vehicle, and an illuminated kick plate just to, you know, add to the appearance of the Nissan Armada. So now that we're inside the car, let's observe some of the changes with the Platinum trim. Like I said, it's really quiet in here, as you heard. Outside of the vehicle is really noisy, a lot of road noise, but as soon as we get into the vehicle, it's just quiet. You don't hear anything at all, and that's really good in this type of vehicle. So first things first, we're going to take this section by section and cover some of the upgrade changes from the SL model to the Platinum. Let's start off with something small. So as you can see here, like I said, outside you do feature the one-touch power opening close sunroof. So we're just going to close that really quick. Now we're going to be moving on to the safety features of the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder, which is of course the intelligent cruise control, forward emergency braking. So we're going to take it step by step. On the dashboard, there's not too many indicators that you do have those, but what you do see here down at the bottom is the Nissan safety show buttons. This one being for, of course, your backup intervention if you want to turn it on and off. And this would be for, of course, the safety shield features that we're going to talk about in just 1 minute. So let's go ahead and start off with the intelligent cruise control. So what that is it's pretty much when you're on the freeway and you want to maintain your set distance from the car in front of you, you will turn on your intelligent cruise control, set it at 60 miles an hour, and once you're driving, if a vehicle will get into your lane, the vehicle will automatically slow down and go back to that set distance if need be, and come to a complete stop in traffic if need be, and then when traffic clears, it's going to go right back up to your set speed. So, of course, that is in a nutshell how intelligent cruise control works. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but just keep that in mind. It's definitely a feature that you're going to want to have in your new 2017 Nissan Pathfinder or most vehicles. And the Pathfinder is going to give it to you at a lot lower cost. So it's already included in the Platinum trim level. Now, moving on from intelligent cruise control, we're going to go into the forward emergency braking and forward collision warning. So those two pretty much work hand in hand. So what that means is that once you're driving and the vehicle detects that a collision might occur, it's going to warn you first. So you're going to see some lights flashing in the advanced driver assist display, or the driver assist display here, and as well as beeping coming from the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder, alerting you that a collision might occur if you don't slow down. So I'm not going to show you how that works in this video, but just keep that in mind. That's exactly how it works. Now, moving on to the forward emergency braking part, for whatever reason, if you don't pay attention to the warning signs of the 2017 Nissan Armada, what it is going to happen is that the Nissan Armada is going to engage the brakes for you. So if you don't react fast enough, the 2017 Nissan Armada will actually take over the brakes and come to a complete stop to either avoid a collision or lessen the severity of it. So again, the Nissan Armada is always watching your back just in case you're not watching your own back. So it's something pretty cool to keep in mind there. Now, moving on, you of course have the lane departure warning and lane departure prevention. So the way it works, the Nissan Armada is sophisticated enough to be guiding your lanes through a lot of sensors and of course the cameras here, the around view camera with the fisheye lens in the back. So it's going to monitor the lanes when they're clearly visible. If the vehicle sees that you are leaving the lane for whatever reason, not paying attention, it's gonna kind of nudge you back in your lane. So it's gonna first warn you if you are leaving the lane, but if you don't pay attention to those signs and you again keep on going, the Nissan Pathfinder, the Nissan Armada is gonna nudge you back into your lane. So again, it's not a self-driving feature. It's not completely something that you should let the Pathfinder, the Armada, do all on its own. But keep in mind, for whatever reason, the Nissan Armada will have your back. Now, moving on to another safety feature. Now, I know I'm going kind of in a list one by one. It might not be the most entertaining, so I'm just going to give you as I'm talking, overview of the Nissan Armada. But so we have, of course, a blind spot warning and the blind spot intervention systems in the 2017 Pathfinder. And as you heard of them, one of them right now, but as you can see here, it's indicated by these two little lights in the 8 pillars here on both the passenger and the driver's side. So what happens in the 2017 Pathfinder is if you're driving and there is a vehicle in your blind spot, without you paying attention, this little light will come on. So it's not very intrusive. It's not going to get and bother you in the corner of your eye as you're driving, but just pay attention because it's going to be there. Now, what happens is if you turn your turn signal on and someone's in your blind spot, the Nissan Armada is going to start to alert you. So it's going to start beeping. It's going to let you know. It's going to start flashing. Hey, you know, there's someone in your blind spot. It might not be the best to change lanes now. But for whatever reason, if you continue, that is when the blind spot intervention comes in. So it is the Armada is equipped to be able to kind of stop you from going into your lane to avoid a collision. So again, that kind of sums up some of the safety features in the Nissan Armada. Now, being as how this is a Platinum trim level, upgrading from the SL, all these features that I just listed are standard, so no packages that you need to get. This is all standard on the Platinum trim level of the Nissan Armada. Now, this being a Platinum trim level, it's actually really loaded, but you'd be surprised. A lot of these features that you see here are actually standard in lower levels, like navigation being standard on the base model, the around view camera being standard on the SL trim level. So I'm not going to, of course, recover all of those features. If you want to go step by step as far as what features are standard on the Platinum, SV, and SL, make sure to check out the channel where we're going to go dissect the Nissan Armada and go piece by piece, as you can see how well equipped some of the lower trim levels are, and how when it comes to the Nissan Armada, there's no such thing as really basic. All Armadas come pretty loaded with a lot of features. It's just that as you go into higher trim levels, it really starts to become really infinity-like, and that's a good thing with the Nissan Armada. So one thing that you're taking a look at here is, of course, the around view monitor with moving object detection. So if it detects that an object is in the field of view, it's going to automatically beep and light up, let you know, hey, you know, there's something moving, you might want to watch out for that. So again, that is standard on the lower trim level, but just wanted to point it out, seeing as how it's right here in the center. And just a quick look and observe the seats, the interior. Keep in mind, all this stuff that you're seeing here is standard on the SL trim level. Now we're going to move on to the back and really see the changes that come on the Platinum trim level. Now, briefly before we head into the back, one more feature I forgot to mention is, of course, a backup collision intervention, which when you're backing up, is scanning the rear cross traffic. If there is a collision imminent, if you're going to keep on going, the vehicle will automatically stop you. So again, just wanted to throw that quickly in there. I did forget to mention, but it's another thing that's standard on the Platinum trim level. Now, as soon as we open up the rear doors of the Armada, it's easy to see how that same elegance actually travels here to the back. So that same design language of a lot of soft touch materials. Really, you don't get anything cheaper here in the back. So one thing with the Platinum trim level is that, of course, you have that little light there at the bottom, kind of light up your path as you get inside the Nissan Armada. Now, as soon as we get inside, it's actually one of the most comfortable places to be in. As you can see, as soon as we close the door, it's really quiet. being that it's a platinum trim level, what you see here, you have what Nissan calls a tri-zone entertainment system. What that means is that you can be watching a movie here, be playing a video game on that one, and be doing something completely different there in the front. Now, upgrade to the platinum trim level includes these nice heated seats for both the passenger and the driver, and one of the rear passengers on both sides. The driver and front passenger actually have heated and cooled seats. Now, as far as space, with the Pathfinder at about my height, maybe I left it a little bit bigger so I have extra room. As you can see here in the back, it is insanely huge. I have a lot of headroom, a lot of leg room, so really there's no place for my head to be bumping into. It's really comfortable to place and place to be in. And of course, these seats recline so you can get as comfortable as you want to. You have an adjustable headrest for all 3 rows. So this one is of course the 8-seater, so you have enough space for the entire family. So if you have a really big family, you know, this might be something you're looking into. So of course you have the armrest and everything that comes down here, hidden cup holders there. So one thing with Nissans is, of course, you're always gonna have plenty of cup holders. You have independent air conditioning here in the back. So again, these features are I know I'm being a little bit redundant here, but they are offered in lower trim levels. I just want to point it out that of course the Platinum does have it. Now the biggest changes here to exclusive to the Platinum is what you see here, the Nissan Entertainment System, the Tri-Zone Entertainment System. Now, one thing with this entertainment system is that, of course, you do have 2 wireless headsets, so no need to connect any wires. Just keep them in the vehicle and you're good to go. That's pretty much it. I mean, that covers it there. You have still hidden storage compartment that you can open from either side. So, as you can see here, I popped it open with this little button here. You have you have your connections here. You have your red, white, and yellow connection for audio and video. Now what's really cool about this center armrest, as you can see here, it opens from both ends, and that's pretty nice. You know, it's definitely deep enough so you can hold something in there. As soon as you lock it, locks from this side, pop it open from this side, connect your stuff, and you're good to go. Now let's just observe really quickly the cabin of the 2017 Nissan Armada. As you can see, it's a very premium looking and feeling cabin to be in. One smart thing to note, of course, the Platinum adds the heated leather steering wheel. The lower trim levels are going to have leather steering wheel, but on this application it's also heated. Now let's quickly jump into the back and test out the rear legroom. Again, the seat as I had it was about to my height in the second row, so I haven't moved the second row. So as you can see, it's a huge amount of legroom there. Here in the back, I'm relatively comfortable. It's a little tight for me, but once I recline the seat and get comfortable, it's not a problem. So I can easily scoot over to this side and have enough legroom. Headroom, of course, not a problem at all. I'm actually doing very good back here, and that's a good way that you can really observe how big the Armada is. As you can see here, me being in the third row now, the second row and the first row all the way over there, it's insanely spacious up in this vehicle. Now the Armada doesn't forget about any of the passengers. So all around the vehicle, you're seeing that you have air ducts for your air conditioning. You have power reclining seats for both sides. So the passenger on this side will also have it. And once you put the headrest up, it actually becomes a little bit more comfortable. So if I was to do that here, I would be able to recline a little bit more and have a little bit more space. But you get the idea. I'm about a little less than 6 feet, maybe like 5'11", around there. And you can see I'm actually really comfortable in this car, whether it be in the front row, the second row, or even in the third row. There's enough space for me to be back here for a really long time. So I'm really comfortable. laying back, I have nothing to worry about. And now when I want to move into the front, just this little switch over here, and just like that, it's easy to get in and out of the Nissan Armada, whether it be the first row, second row, and third row. Pop it up and slide it, and we're good to go. So that pretty much covers all of the features in the Armada. Keep in mind, this is the Platinum level, so they tick every single option that there is to have in the Nissan Armada. The only thing missing is, of course, the optional captain's chair in the second row if you decide to. If not, as it is here, it's perfectly fine. Like I said, I didn't go into too many detail as far as all the features in the Armada, because the SV and the SL already come loading enough that it'd be, again, redundant in the Platinum. It just adds a little bit more of a luxury feel to the Armada. So again, make sure to check out the channel to see the in-depth of the SV and SL, where we're gonna break it down and really cover into all the features from the base trim level and observe all the standard features as we upgrade to the SL and Platinum. So this has been your in-depth look at the Platinum trim level of the Nissan Armada when upgrading from the SL. Be sure to check out the channel where we're going to break it down from SV, SL, and Platinum, and cover what differences are new in the engine. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that.